All right, ready to dive in. Today, we're all about getting you prepped for that rental manager interview.
Whether you're just starting out or you're going for a senior role, we've got the insights to help you stand out.
Think of this as your secret weapon.
Your cheat sheet to wow those hiring managers.
We'll be unpacking those common questions, getting to the heart of what they're really asking, and giving you strategies to nail those answers.
And we won't forget our secret weapon, RoleCatcher.
It's like having a career coach and an AI assistant all rolled into one.
RoleCatcher can polish up your resume and highlight those keywords that make employers sit up and take notice. Plus, you get feedback on your interview answers tailored to specific job descriptions. Talk about a game changer.
Before we jump into the questions, let's paint a picture of what a rental manager's world really looks like. It's a bit of a juggling act, right?
You could say that. Think of them as the conductors of the rental orchestra, ensuring everything runs like clockwork. They're leading teams, handling customer issues, overseeing property maintenance, and keeping a close eye on profitability. It's a dynamic role that requires a unique mix of skills.
And talking about skills, RoleCatcher's Career Guide gives us a great overview of the career path, showing how you can climb that ladder from rental agent to senior rental manager.
Exactly. It all starts with learning the basics as a rental agent, greeting those customers, processing leases, and making sure those rental units are in tip-top shape. As you gain experience, you can step up to assistant rental manager, where you'll start training staff, handling those tougher customer issues, and working hand in hand with the rental manager to reach those revenue goals.
And then you reach the top, senior rental manager, overseeing multiple locations, crafting those regional growth strategies, and building those strong relationships with partners and investors. It's a real journey of growth.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher can help you map out your own journey within this career path. Its AI analyzes your skills and experience, matching them to specific roles and even pointing out areas you might want to develop for future advancement.
So you're not just prepping for an interview, you're building a whole career roadmap. Are you ready to tackle some of those interview questions?
Let's dive right in. The first one is a classic. What experience do you have managing rentals?
Seems straightforward enough, but I bet there's more to it than meets the eye.
You bet. The interviewer wants to see evidence of your hands-on experience, not just textbook knowledge. They want those concrete examples of how you've handled the day-to-day reality of being a rental manager.
So should I just list every job I've ever had on my resume?
Not quite. Focus on the details. How many units were you responsible for? What types of properties? What did your duties actually involve? Even early career experiences are valuable if you know how to frame them.
So instead of just saying I was a leasing agent, I could say something like, while I was working as a leasing agent, I managed a portfolio of 50 units, which included everything from showing apartments and processing applications to addressing tenant concerns and coordinating maintenance.
That's the idea. You're showing them you understand the diverse nature of the role. And here's where RoleCatcher's AI can be a real game changer. It breaks down that job description and highlights those skills they're really looking for so you can tweak your answer to emphasize the most relevant experience.
It's like a customized guide for your interview.
And always be ready for those follow-up questions. Be prepared to discuss your biggest challenges, your proudest achievements, and how you handled a particularly tricky situation. These are prime opportunities to showcase your skills and experience in detail.
So it's like building a house. Your initial answer is the foundation, and those follow-ups are where you add the walls and the roof.
Let's move on to a question that's all about filling those units. How do you ensure that rental properties are fully occupied?
The million-dollar question, keeping that revenue flowing.
Exactly. They want to see your strategy for attracting and keeping tenants. This is where you showcase your knowledge of the local market and your marketing skills.
So I guess posting flyers isn't going to cut it.
Not really. Think bigger picture. Think targeted online ad campaigns, maybe even A/B testing to see what resonates most. Highlight your skills in tenant screening and how you choose responsible tenants who will treat the property with care.
Show them you're proactive and data-driven. What kind of follow-up questions should I expect here?
Be ready to talk about the metrics you'd use to track those occupancy rates. How would you spot potential red flags early on? And what strategies would you use to adapt to those ever-changing market conditions?
It's all about showing those analytical skills. Don't just say you'll advertise. Explain how you'll measure those campaigns and use data to make informed decisions.
Now let's face a slightly tougher topic. How do you handle difficult tenants or tenant complaints?
Oh, I bet everyone has a story about a difficult tenant. How do you turn that story into a winning interview answer?
This question is all about demonstrating your conflict resolution skills and professionalism. They want to see how you handle those tough situations while remaining fair and effective.
So no venting about that nightmare tenant who trashed the apartment.
Not the best approach. Share a specific example of a challenge and how you resolved it. Focus on the steps you took, your communication skills, and the positive outcome you achieved.
For instance, I could say, I once had a tenant who consistently paid rent late. Instead of immediately moving to evict, I reached out to them, found out they were going through a tough time financially, and we worked out a temporary payment plan that helped them get back on track.
That's a great example. It shows you're empathetic, but also firm and able to enforce policies. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you fine-tune your response, ensuring your language and tone strike that perfect balance between professionalism and understanding.
Like having a personal editor for your interview answers. Now let's get into the practical side of things. How do you ensure that rental properties are well maintained?
This one's all about your proactive approach to property care. They want someone who anticipates problems, not someone who's always playing catch-up.
So it's more than just fixing that leaky faucet. It's about having a system.
Precisely. Explain your process for preventative maintenance, how you manage repairs and contractors, and highlight those meticulous record-keeping skills. You could even mention using property management software to track those maintenance requests and streamline communication.
Would it be helpful to mention my knowledge of specific industry tools? Would that impress a hiring manager?
Absolutely. Knowing your way around popular property management platforms shows you're tech-savvy and on top of industry best practices.
So it's about being organized, detail-oriented, and tech-savvy. Any typical follow-up questions for this one?
Definitely. Expect questions about your experience prioritizing maintenance tasks, managing budgets for those unexpected repairs, and negotiating with contractors to secure the best rates. It's all about showing you can handle the financial and logistical aspects of property maintenance.
Now, let's dive into a topic that can be a bit intimidating. How do you ensure that rental properties are in compliance with all those applicable regulations?
The legal side. This question tests your knowledge of fair housing laws, safety codes, and all the legal requirements of the rental industry. They want to see you take compliance seriously.
How do I convince them I'm not going to land them in a lawsuit?
By being proactive and knowledgeable. Talk about how you stay current on those legal updates, maybe through industry publications or professional development courses. You can mention conducting regular inspections and having a system for documenting everything.
For instance, I could say, I stay informed by subscribing to industry newsletters, attending seminars on legal updates, and conducting thorough move-in and move-out inspections to ensure we're meeting all those safety regulations.
That's a great example. It shows you're committed to staying informed and taking compliance seriously. Don't be afraid to mention specific laws or regulations you're familiar with.
It's about showing you're not just winging it. You understand the rules and you're dedicated to playing by them.
Now, let's talk about the bottom line. How do you handle rent collection and those delinquent accounts?
Time to channel my inner accountant.
Exactly. They're looking for your financial management skills and your ability to enforce policies fairly but firmly, finding that balance between empathy and ensuring the property's financial well-being.
Is it enough to say I'm great at sending out those late rent notices?
Not quite. Outline your system for tracking payments and issuing those notices. Then explain your approach to working with tenants who are struggling. Talk about your experience setting up payment plans, negotiating solutions, or connecting tenants with resources for financial assistance.
So it's not just about being tough, it's about being resourceful and finding solutions that work for everyone.
Exactly. And once again, RoleCatcher can refine your response, making sure your language and tone project that ideal blend of firmness and compassion.
It's like having a personal diplomacy coach for those tough conversations. Okay, let's move on to a question about professional growth. How do you stay up to date with industry trends and changes?
This one's all about showing your dedication to learning and your passion for the field. They want to see you're invested in staying ahead of the curve and constantly expanding your knowledge base.
So just browsing real estate articles online isn't going to cut it.
Be specific. Mention industry publications, professional organizations you're a part of, conferences, or webinars you've attended. You could even mention PropTech, that's property technology, and how it's transforming the industry.
PropTech. Gotta love the industry lingo.
Just make sure you know what it means. We don't want you throwing around jargon you can't explain. RoleCatcher can actually help you identify relevant industry keywords and trends for the specific job you're targeting.
Like a cheat sheet for all those buzzwords.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's about showing I'm curious, engaged, and always learning. What kind of follow-up questions might they ask?
They might ask you to elaborate on a specific trend or technology that interests you, how you apply those new learnings, or what professional development goals you have for the future.
It's about showing you actively apply what you learn and are constantly striving to grow.
Now, let's talk about the bottom line. How do you ensure that rental properties are profitable?
This is where my business brain comes in.
Exactly. They want to see your financial savvy and your ability to make data-driven decisions that boost revenue. Showcase your understanding of market analysis, expense control, and revenue optimization.
How do I prove I'm not going to run their properties into the ground?
Talk about analyzing market data, setting competitive rental rates, and identifying areas to streamline expenses or boost revenue. You could even mention using financial modeling software to forecast profitability.
So it's not just about keeping tenants happy. It's also about ensuring those properties are financially healthy.
Right. And a good example can bring this to life. You could say, by tracking market trends, I saw a high demand for pet-friendly units in our area. So implementing a pet policy with additional fees, increased occupancy, and overall profitability.
Great example. It shows you're proactive, observant, and able to capitalize on those opportunities to enhance profitability.
Now, let's explore the art of diplomacy. How do you handle conflicts with property owners or investors?
That delicate balance between managing expectations and personalities, it can be tricky, especially with strong-willed individuals.
It's about demonstrating communication and diplomacy skills. They want to know you can handle disagreements professionally, understand different viewpoints, and find solutions that work for everyone.
It's about finding common ground, not winning arguments.
Exactly. Share an example of navigating a disagreement, focusing on your communication skills and your approach to resolution.
For instance, I can say, I once disagreed with a property owner about a major renovation. Instead of getting defensive, I listened to their concerns, explained the long-term benefits of the renovation, and presented a cost-benefit analysis. We compromised, addressing both of our needs.
Perfect example. It shows you can handle conflict constructively, you're persuasive, and focused on win-win solutions. And again, RoleCatcher can help you polish your response, ensuring your language and tone convey that diplomacy and professionalism.
It's like having a personal diplomacy coach in my pocket. Okay, let's wrap up this section with a question about leadership. How do you manage a team of rental staff?
This question explores your leadership style and your ability to build a strong and cohesive team. They want to see you motivate, delegate effectively, and cultivate a positive work environment.
So it's not just about giving orders.
Definitely not. Highlight your experience building a team, delegating tasks, and providing constructive feedback. You could also mention your approach to training and development, resolving team conflicts, or creating a positive and supportive work environment.
So it's about showing I'm not just a manager, but a leader who inspires and empowers my team.
Exactly. Don't forget about those potential follow-up questions. They might ask about your experience with performance evaluations, addressing underperforming team members, or your approach to team-building activities.
So draw on specific examples that showcased my leadership style and my ability to bring out the best in my team. And of course, RoleCatcher can help me fine-tune my response to highlight the most relevant skills and experiences.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here. What other interview insights do you have for us?
So we've tackled those common questions, but remember, every interview is different, and that's where RoleCatcher's AI can really shine. It goes beyond that generic advice by analyzing the specific company and role you're targeting.
It's like having a custom game plan, right? Instead of just memorizing those standard answers, we're tailoring them to what each employer is really looking for.
Exactly. Let's say you're interviewing for a rental manager position at a company specializing in those luxury properties. RoleCatcher dives into their company profile, their values, even the tone of their job postings, helping you refine those answers to resonate with their specific needs.
So instead of talking about fixing leaky faucets in those budget-friendly apartments, I'd highlight my skills in coordinating those high-end renovations or connecting with those discerning clients. Precisely. And RoleCatcher can even point out those potential red flags, those areas where your experience might not perfectly align with their expectations.
That way, I can address those concerns head-on during the interview, showing I'm self-aware and proactive about my professional development.
Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about career progression. RoleCatcher's Career Guide does a fantastic job outlining those potential career stages from assistant manager to senior rental manager and even beyond.
Like a roadmap showing me the skills and experience I need to level up and reach my career goals.
And remember those insights we discussed earlier about networking and continuous learning. Those are crucial for climbing that ladder, attending industry events, joining those professional organizations, staying ahead of the curve. Those aren't just bullet points on your resume, they're investments in your future.
Right. And RoleCatcher can even suggest relevant courses and resources to boost my knowledge base and stand out from the crowd.
It's like a personalized career development plan, right there in your pocket. But here's a question. What if I'm switching careers and trying to break into rental management from a different field?
That's a great question. I've got a friend thinking about making a similar move. How can RoleCatcher help in that situation?
RoleCatcher's AI analyzes your existing skills and experience, even from unrelated fields, identifying those transferable skills that are valuable in the rental world.
So even without directly managing properties, experience in customer service, sales, project management, or even something like event planning could be a huge plus.
Absolutely. RoleCatcher helps you connect the dots and showcase those transferable skills in a way that makes sense to potential employers.
It's not about starting from scratch. It's about using your existing strengths and setting yourself up for success in this new field.
Hmm.
Okay, we've talked a lot about landing that rental manager job, but what are the pros and cons of this career path? RoleCatcher's career guide gives us that realistic view, right?
Like a sneak peek behind the scenes. On the plus side, rental managers work with diverse properties, build relationships with clients and tenants, and potentially earn a good income, especially with those commissions or bonuses.
Definitely sounds dynamic and fulfilling, but what about those downsides?
Well, like any career, there are challenges. You might deal with difficult tenants, juggle multiple responsibilities, and keep up with those ever-changing laws and regulations.
And those busy seasons can be pretty intense, right?
Definitely. Busy seasons often mean long hours and lots of on-the-spot problem solving. That's why weighing those pros and cons carefully is crucial. RoleCatcher helps you make that informed decision, making sure this career path aligns with your personality, goals, and those work-life balance preferences.
It's about finding a career you enjoy and find meaning in, not just any job. Now let's delve into some additional insights from RoleCatcher about what makes a successful rental manager. They've analyzed tons of data and highlighted those key skills and knowledge that employers really look for.
Strong leadership and management skills are a must. You need to motivate your team, delegate effectively, and make those tough decisions when necessary.
So you need to be a people person with that strategic mindset.
Communication is another big one. You're constantly interacting with tenants, property owners, contractors, staff members. Clear, concise, and professional communication is essential.
Building trust, resolving conflicts smoothly, making sure everyone's on the same page.
RoleCatcher also stresses the importance of attention to detail and organizational skills. You're juggling properties, lease agreements, maintenance requests, financial records. Staying organized is crucial to keep things running smoothly.
I can see how essential those skills would be.
And we can't forget about problem solving and decision making. Unexpected challenges are guaranteed. You need to think on your feet, adapt, and find solutions that are practical and fair.
Being proactive, resourceful, and confident in handling anything that comes your way.
Lastly, RoleCatcher emphasizes knowing rental industry practices and regulations. You need to be informed about fair housing laws, safety codes, and the legal nuances governing the field.
It's about showing you're a professional who takes compliance seriously and operates ethically.
Absolutely. RoleCatcher doesn't just tell you what's important, but guides you on showcasing those skills during the interview.
So it's not just saying, I have great communication skills. It's about backing those claims with concrete examples.
Exactly. Let's take leadership. Instead of saying you're a good leader, RoleCatcher suggests sharing specific examples of motivating a team, delegating effectively, or resolving conflicts constructively.
Transforming vague statements into compelling evidence. I love how RoleCatcher helps you connect those dots.
Now let's shift to RoleCatcher's career stages section. This provides a glimpse into the typical career path of a rental manager with profiles of individuals at different stages.
Like looking into a crystal ball, seeing where this path could lead and what I could achieve.
At the entry level, we have the rental agent, handling those day-to-day interactions with customers, processing payments, and ensuring those rental units are in top shape. RoleCatcher shows what their day looks like, their key skills, responsibilities, and even their typical educational background.
A snapshot of what it takes to succeed in that role.
Then we move up to the assistant rental manager, taking on more supervisory responsibilities, training staff, handling those trickier customer situations, and collaborating with the rental manager on those revenue goals.
What does RoleCatcher tell us about the assistant rental manager?
RoleCatcher's example profile highlights the increased leadership and problem-solving skills needed at this level, plus that autonomy and decision-making authority.
Sounds like a great stepping stone to becoming a rental manager.
Exactly. And that's our next stop. The rental manager oversees everything, manages the team, develops strategies, analyzes financial reports, and ensures compliance with those regulations.
Key takeaways from RoleCatcher's profile of a rental manager.
RoleCatcher highlights strategic thinking, business acumen, and people management skills. You're the captain of the ship, guiding the property towards success.
And at the top, we have the senior rental manager, overseeing multiple locations, developing regional growth plans, and building relationships with partners and investors.
RoleCatcher's example shows the culmination of experience, leadership, and expertise. It shows the impact you can have as you advance.
RoleCatcher doesn't just provide profiles, it connects them to the skills and knowledge you need at each stage, creating a roadmap for your career.
It's your personalized coach guiding you every step of the way. And RoleCatcher goes further, recognizing that the industry is constantly evolving with new opportunities. It's not just about climbing the corporate ladder anymore.
So it's about exploring different paths and finding what excites you.
Exactly. Let's say you're passionate about sustainability. RoleCatcher can connect you with resources and opportunities in green rental management. Or if you're tech savvy, you can leverage technology to make things smoother. RoleCatcher highlights prop tech and connects you with companies leading the charge.
Prop tech again. I'm getting the hang of this lingo.
It's about broadening your horizons and seeing that rental management can be so much more than just managing properties.
Finding your niche, making a difference, shaping the industry's future. So how do we connect this back to acing that interview?
Preparation is key. Use RoleCatcher's insights to tailor your responses, highlight relevant skills and experience, and show your passion, knowledge, and readiness to hit the ground running.
So we've covered so much today, those tough interview questions, navigating your career path, even the pros and cons of this job. It's like we've given you a 360-degree view of what it means to be a rental manager. But before we wrap things up, I have one last thought for you.
We've talked a lot about using RoleCatcher to tailor your answers, highlight your skills, but here's something to think about. What excites you about the future of rental management?
Oh, I like that. It's like they say, the best way to predict the future is to create it. What trends, what innovations do you think will shape this industry in the years to come?
It's a question that goes beyond just landing the job. It's about your vision for this field and your passion for making a difference. Maybe you're all about incorporating sustainability, or maybe you're excited about using technology to create smarter, more efficient rental experiences. Whatever it is, let that passion shine through.
So what does all this mean? You're armed with the knowledge and strategies to rock that rental manager interview. Confidence is key. Showcase your experience, highlight your skills, and let your enthusiasm for this dynamic field shine through. We're rooting for you. Good luck, and may your next deep dives be into a successful new career as a rental manager.